March on the eve of spring practice when you were named interim coach and you were with Coach Dressel. You'd said at the time that his problems were small little storms. Do you now have a different appreciation for that? And
did you read that back? Was it small, or did I just say a storm?
Small little storms.
Hey, all storms we attack in the same manner, whether it's large or big. All right? If I said it, I'm not sure, but all I know this, just like every game, large or big to who believes that they are large or big, we will attack every storm as it's all the same. But again, we're looking at this as a way in which we can get better. I think that's the most important thing. That's what we're always going to turn everything to, is how can we take these situations and make this program better?
To the right there.
Yeah, Luke, Tim May, Columbus Dispatch again. Do you anticipate any other players being involved from a suspension standpoint or anything as this thing moves forward? You're already Terrell Pryor's left the program. You've got 4 guys who are going to miss at least the first 5 games. Do you anticipate losing anyone else for a period of time?
You know, those are hypothetical situations right now. We can't spend a whole lot of time worrying about hypothetical situations. Again, we're going to spend our time worrying about the things which we know, and as things arise, we will handle them abruptly, we will handle them aggressively, and we'll make sure we handle them thoroughly before anything else is done.
To the left over here.
Luke Dumteberry, 10 TV Sports. Obviously, your head must be swimming a little bit. I mean, you've had a lot thrown in the last couple of weeks. What do you see right now as your biggest challenges?
Our biggest challenge is the kids. That's the most important. We know what's most important to us. We said it as a coaching staff. We got the kids together, and the one little time that we did, it's going to be about our families. And when we say our families, I mean every kid on our team. That's what our lifeline is for this program. We understand the situations. We understand we're going to use this in a way that which we can get better, but we're focused on the kids, the coaches, our one mentality, our selflessness, and the ability which we can put the best product on the field.
To the right.
Coach, Brandon Castel with the Ozone. I was just going to ask you about Terrell and the decision that he made. How much did you talk to Terrell before he made that decision, and what kind of input maybe did you offer him in making the decision whether to stick around or to turn pro?
I have had no interaction with Terrell Pryor as of Tuesday night of our team workout.
To the left here.
Coach, Mark Schwab, 19 Action News from Cleveland. Normally, Ohio State, the season starts, the goal is go win the Big Ten, go win a bowl game. You're kind of in an odd spot because you don't even know if they're going to let you do that yet. Just how do you handle that? What's the carrot you put in front of guys?
Again, it's a daily grind. We're going to embrace those situations. We're not going to worry about the hypotheticals. We've got a day-to-day basis right now, and that's all we're trying to stress to our kids. We will attack those situations as they arise. We believe we've got the leadership amongst the coaches as well as the seniors, that these guys are one unit, and I don't think they're worried about anything like that right now.
To the right.
Yeah, look back to recruiting, though. Do you feel things are kind of stacked against y'all right now as far as having to explain things, especially kids from out of state? I mean, just what's been your take on that aspect of it?
We've always tried to sell the program. Yes, there are speculations, and what I keep reminding them is they need to get here so that they can meet us and understand and have faith and belief in who we are, what we're about, and where we're headed. That's the most important thing for us. Is it a little bit more difficult at times? But that doesn't make us any different. That doesn't make it any different than any other year from people saying different things. We're going to be aggressive at what we do.
To the left here.
Luke, Steve Hellwagon from Bucknuts. The question I have for you is about Jim Haycock. He was your position coach your last year at Ohio State. Then you guys have worked alongside one another, and now suddenly you're his boss. Just talk about that dynamic, and I'm sure he's going to laugh when we say that, but how's that dynamic going to work out? Who's going to have the final say? Are you going to be involved as much in the defensive game planning, or how do you foresee that all turning out?
We've had enough change as it is right now. We know that we're going to try and keep the things that are in place as much the same as we possibly can. We know there's going to be changes, and there's going to be things that arise, and we're all going to have to step up our game and do some things that maybe we aren't as comfortable doing. But defensively, we're going to try and keep it as much similar as possible. And as you've talked to us in the past, you know it's not about any one person. And we've done such an unbelievable job over the last 6-7 years at doing it together, whether it's us, which is Taver Johnson, or Paul Haynes, all of us together. So I think we're just going to ask each other to step up their end of the bargain in every little thing that we do and try and have as little change as possible as we can for these kids.
Back right.
Luke, Mike Miller with TV44 in Lima. You were recruited by and played for John Cooper. Have you spoken to Coach Cooper at all and maybe gotten some attitude and some feedback from him at all on this?
Definitely. I've reached out to Coach Cooper, but only on a brief little time so far. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind, and but that's going to be someone, as soon as this slows down just a hair bit, that I can truly sit down with, go to breakfast, sit in the office, and go through a lot of different things. But I have definitely reached out, and he's reached out to me, talked to him briefly. He's expressed his support in any way that he possibly can, and I really look forward to sitting and talking with him more.
To the left here.
Luke, Dave Biddle from Bucknuts.com again. Safe to say you're going to be more involved with the offense than Coach Tressel was with the defense? Because he sometimes went out of his way to say he's not involved with the defense at all.
Hey, I got the utmost confidence in the offensive staff and Coach Bullman as the offensive coordinator. I just want to make sure that they understand, more so for the kids, that I care, that I have a presence, and I care about what's going on with them. It's not about me calling a play or asking to do something different. It's just going to be about to make sure that the kids understand that I'm all with them. I'm not just a defensive guy. I'm not just working with the linebackers. I'm here for everybody.
To the left again.
Doug Lamarice, Cleveland Plain Dealer. Luke, it sounds sort of unusual that you wouldn't have had more interaction with Terrell as your 3-year starting quarterback before he made a decision to leave the program. Why didn't you have more conversations with him?
Again, everything happened kind of fast in the way at which it was. He tried to contact me, and just the situation didn't work out that we had a chance to sit down and talk. But again, and when I do talk to him, I will encourage him. I will say we wish you well in your endeavors and continue to encourage him to finish his degree.
Do you think it's better for the program that he did leave?
Hey, each and every year we lose kids. Cameron Hayward, boy, we'd love to have him back. Ross Holman, Brian Roll, all those kinds of guys. That's what we prepare for year in and year out. That's why these kids come here to Ohio State with the opportunity that they know that they have a chance to show what they can do. So we're going to continue to focus on the future and worry about what we have control over.
Although it is a little different to lose a guy who was your starting quarterback who wasn't a senior, lose him unexpectedly as opposed to losing guys to graduation. This seems a little more maybe difficult to deal with.
It is different. But again, we're going to embrace all the expectations and all the situations and continue to focus on moving forward with the program.
To the right.
Yeah, Tim May again, Columbus Dispatch. In that regard, have you laid down any so-called new laws with your players about everybody shows up on time, all this kind of stuff? I mean, have you gotten into that yet?
There's a fine line between reality and perception, and the foundation is there. I just want to assure you of that. We're going to continue to grow on the foundation and focus on our areas that we think we can get better in, and that's the most important thing. We have not had that opportunity to even really truly have a team meeting where we can sit down and all be together, but we're looking forward to it.
Another thing, I wrote a story right after you got hired, or right after this change was made. Pat Fitzgerald said he was told by Joe Pa to write head coach on his mirror in the morning and look at it and understand that. What has changed dramatically for you from going from where you were to this situation now, Luke, from the standpoint of telling everybody what to do as opposed to linebackers?
Well, it is a unique situation, and I don't think it would be possible if it wasn't for the type of staff you have. To have those guys in place that have been here, that understand the situation, that have that all-in mentality, it didn't take much. That was the most unique thing. To be able to sit there with them that day without having any prior idea of what was going on or any time to prepare to talk to them, and to be able to see how they responded and the support of which they had, it was unbelievable.
To the left here.
Luke, Rusty Miller from AP. You talk about perception and reality. Obviously, the perception is out there that in light of a coach leaving, being forced to resign, and also the quarterback leaving, that there are inherent problems here. There might be a culture of problems with NCAA violations. Can you contrast that perception which may be out there with what the reality is in terms of what went on a daily basis for these last 10 years you've been here in terms of NCAA and what was done and not done?
Our compliance office does an unbelievable job, and we continue, and we are going to continue to educate our kids consistently. Now, can we get better? We're finding ways every day that we can get better, whether it's through monitoring, whether it's through more consistency. That's the trick to the whole thing. Do I know of any different ways yet? No. Like I said, it's going to be a thorough and methodical process here, but I can promise you that we're going to get better at what we do.
To the right.
Luke Roballer, Dispatch. I guess with you, the great unknown is game management. What are you going to draw upon in terms of that when that day comes? Where are you going to find the X's and O's and that type of thing, your philosophy?
Well, I think the most important thing that even the advice I've been given so far is to stay with your strengths. And yes, I will be obviously much more involved defensively than I will offensively. But again, the most important thing is I don't want the coaches on the offensive side of the ball or the players on the offensive side of the ball to think I don't care every bit as much about them as I do about the special teams, as I do about the defense.
I'm going to interrupt just for one moment. We'll let you continue and ask Luke a few more questions. But once he's through, I just want everyone to know we do have some guests here with us, and they are certainly available to speak with you. We've got from our coaching staff, Jim Haycock is here, Tabor Johnson is here, Paul Haynes is here, Stan Drayton is here, Bob Tucker, our operations guy, is here. All of these guys have been with Luke for many, many years. A couple of Luke's former players are here. Mike Vrabel's in the back, Ryan Miller's in the back, Jerry Rodzinski's in the back. Bobby Carpenter, who played under Coach Fickell, is also here. So I just wanted people to be aware that those folks were at the